Alrighty, Ray, take it away in five, four, three.
Let's get to know a hot new music producer on the rise. This is BHL's Next.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Hey, what's up,
Hello,
y'all?
hello.
We're live now with Caliveli. What's up?
Yes, ma'am. What's going on?
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
I'm excited. I'm excited for everybody to get to know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because there's
yeah.
been a lot of viral videos going on. We're going to get into that later.
Cool.
But they need to know. Sometimes people don't know the behind the scenes, of their favorite viral video.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
this one that we're going to get into later. So I'm with Caliveli, music producer. You've been working hard. I know you have this great relationship with the legendary Dame Dash.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, Dame Dash.
The Dame Dash.
Put the rock up. You know what I'm saying?
The rock is in the
Building.
Rockaway,
So tell me how that relationship came to be and what it's like working with him, because I know he's a man all about his business, so.
Yeah. So back in 2016, I began working for Damian Young.
Yes.
And Damian Young used to be the program director at Power 106.
Yes.
So he really took me under his wing, in the studio, became his assistant, taught me the game and everything. And then I met Dame last year, I believe in July, at his Culture Vulture book seminar, and I had mentioned to him, hey, I've been working for Damian Young. He's all, Damian Young from radio, and I was all, yeah. And so I ended up putting Damian Young and Dame Dash back together.
You have like two dames, like two important dames.
Yeah,
in your life.
I mean, like, got to see too is like the last time these guys did business together, Jay-Z became Jay-Z.
I know. I mean, so I know
You know?
Damian Young, for those who don't know, like, was kind of instrumental in putting out, Ja Rule and Jay-Z, and so, making those people known on radio. So, yeah, tell me about Dame and Dame coming together.
Yeah. So they ended up getting back together in a Dame studio, and they did a little interview, and then Dame Dash wanted to get into terrestrial radio. So we were like, so we were all for it. We're like, cool, let's do it. Then the radio idea turned more into a television idea. So Dame gave me a bunch of his like original content from studio sessions from back in the day, to him going on trips with his family to Jamaica, to China, like all this unreleased content, and he gave it to me, and I ended up programming the beta version of Dame Dash Television.
Wow.
So on Dame Dash Studios YouTube right now, if you go, it's DDTV. It's a 24/7 live stream of all of his programs. Each program starts right on the hour. There's commercials in between episodes. It's literally like watching TV. So Dame could like visually see what his own television network could potentially look like. And Dame was all, yo, like, that's dope. I want you on the team.
Yeah. First of all, let's get back to this unreleased content. So what studio session did you see that, maybe not the public has seen that blew you away?
Wow. I would probably say the studio session that was the Black Keys and Jim Jones.
Okay.
That's where I was like, wow, this was back in I think 2009 when Dame did the Black Rock album, and I'm all, wow, like Dame's getting this band, and getting a dope rapper like a legend Jim Jones, putting like rock and roll with a rap,
hip-hop, yeah.
And with the live instrumentation, and Jim Jones doing his thing, like it was like, wow, like I don't want to sample anymore, like I want to get in there and do some live instrumentation. So I mean, it was a lot of work, but also a lot of fun watching all the videos.
Yes. So then how did you get into wanting to do producing music and, getting involved in this industry?
Yeah. So probably 5 years ago, I wanted to be a rapper.
Really?
Sort of like, but I wasn't very good, I guess. But I was like, what could I do to still be involved in the process? So I was like, well, someone's got to be doing the music, like for the raps, So then I learned about sampling. I studied Dr. Dre beats. I studied Kanye West beats, Just Blaze beats, you know, and I ultimately ended up getting an MPC 1000 beatmaker sampler, and I would try to re-chop the samples the same way Kanye and Just Blaze would chop them Just Blaze, you know. So I got the feel of, you know, I don't want to say I like tried to copy their style, but I wanted to understand why they chopped samples a certain way and why they made the beat how it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I just ultimately just started digging in the crates on YouTube for samples, you know, and my first few beats weren't very good, but it was cool because each beat I made got a little bit better and better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I really cared about. So I just ended up having a whole bunch of my beats, you know, and I just kept them to myself, and I would give them to as many big artists as I could.
That's funny. Your story is almost like the opposite or the reverse of Kanye, because he, you know, he ended up being the rapper, even though he had the music. You wanted to start out being a rapper, and you ended up producing. That's cool. So, you know, it's interesting because I feel as though you're learning from these legends, you know, at a time where hip hop was, I want to say, it was at its peak, but you're getting like so many sounds from, you know, these great artists. Do you ever feel as though like the difference, or what's the difference do you see from production back then to the production that we're hearing now, you know, even on mainstream radio?
Yeah, you know, I believe nowadays to make a beat, you know, it's very simple. You know, you just pull up FL Studio, you know, and you can make a hit record in, you know, like 5 minutes. You know, and you know, sampling is not something that's done a whole lot anymore. You know, like, which is cool. You know, like people will play their own keys.
Yes.
You know, which is great. But you know, like, I mean, my preference is the production that was done back then, just because like I love what Kanye did. What was taking, you know, soul records.
Oh,
and,
yes.
and speeding them up and throwing a drum loop over it, you know, like that's just what I love to listen to. You know, it's my personal preference.
Yeah.
But
like, it's for example, like for like the track that everybody loves by Tiana Taylor, I don't even, you know what song I'm talking about. And then he like sampled I Gave to You by the Delphonics and just like, you know, twisted that whole thing. Like, he's very known for doing that. And you can even listen to like the songs with him and Jay-Z with the Otis Redding. And, you know, he's definitely known for doing that.
Oh yeah, you know, and
does that open your mind up to different, I guess, eras or genres of time in music to sample from?
Oh, definitely. You know, I've always been sort of an old head when it comes to hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, and production and everything, but to like see its transformation throughout the years to what it is now. You know, like I've really started to see, you know, sampling come back maybe a little bit. You know, shout out to Murda Beats. You know, he did the Drake record Nice for What. You know, he took the Lauryn Hill sample.
Yes.
You know, and got it popping. Like I said, like that's what I love to hear.
Why do you think people have stopped using sampling as much?
I think because probably most of the better samples have already been used. I guess, you know, because but
there's always, so, you know, I always feel like such hidden gems too.
Oh, definitely.
Like we're gonna get into it later, but you know, 2 Chainz just dropped his album recently, and he has a song on there with him and Ariana Grande, which I was really shocked to find out that the song, when I was listening to it, was a sample from an A. Marie track off of her first debut album. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? Like, but it was shocking to hear because, you know, it was like you don't hear samples a lot, or all, like you said, the samples that you do hear, they've kind of been overdone, or it's always like the same sample and not something that necessarily everybody's really, you know, familiar with.
Yeah, so like what I would do was I would, you know, try to remake a Kanye beat or a Just Blaze beat so I could understand the process. Then I would go digging for those gems, you know, and try to find, you know, a song that, you know, hasn't been sampled yet before. And you know, like,
it's hard.
You know, it's a lot of digging, you know, a lot of research about artists and everything. But, you know, like, I think I got a couple that are like that, you know, and those are the ones that I ultimately ended up playing for Kanye.
That's crazy.
You know, so it was a dream come true. It was a dream come true.
Yeah, let's get into that, because now you're working with Kanye. We saw, like I said, this viral video that I already had seen, because he's doing this Sunday service, you know, where he's putting out music on Sunday, and it's it's a
beautiful.
whole vibe.
It's beautiful.
It's a whole beautiful vibe. And I feel with a lot of like controversy and everything, a lot of people sometimes not necessarily focus on the music, or maybe you get so wrapped up into that they forget that Kanye at the end of the day still is a very talented person, and is
definitely
just amazing. As far as like what he can do lyrically, crazy. So let's talk about these videos. You were in the studio with Dame and Kanye. Was this your first time interacting with Kanye, or have you interacted with him before prior to this?
This was my very first time
really
interacting with Kanye West. Yeah, and
what was that like?
Man, it was really funny. Dame texted me in the morning. Like Kanye's coming in. I want you here. I was like, all right, dope. So I show up. And Kanye and Dame, they talking, whatever. And then Kanye's sitting there on his phone. And I'm like, man, like, this is my opportunity to tell Kanye, I make beats. But the thing is, I've never really looked at Kanye as a rapper. I've always looked at him as Kanye, the producer.
Because he has produced some tracks.
I mean, because I love the records he did for Jay-Z on Blueprint, for Beanie Siegel, for Talib Kweli, so
and even like some of his like R&B tracks, like, and a lot of people don't even realize like some of the R&B tracks that he produced for like even like women like Keisha Cole with her first album,
Alicia Keys,
like so many people, and he crazy. So that's crazy that you do look at him as a producer instead of a rapper.
So like my ultimate goal was I wanted to play some beats for Kanye and just get his feedback about it. He might say, oh, that's kind of whack, or change the drums on that, or I changed the sample, whatever. So I ended up walking up to him, right? And I was like, hey, Kanye, I make beats, and like it would be an honor if I could play them for you.
I feel like that's different because like a lot of people, because you look at him as a producer, they probably come up to Kanye as, hey, I want to rap and I want to be a rapper. So I think that's kind of might be refreshing for him.
And then when Dame had introduced me to him, he's all, man, Kanye, like this dude comes in the Rockaware every day, this and that. So Kanye smiled, man, that's cool, So after I tell Kanye, yo, it'd be an honor if I could play some beats for you, and then Dame's like, Justin, like, slow down a little bit, like come on now, he's like, don't worry, I got you. And then Kanye just smiles and goes, I want to hear those beats before I leave. And then I was like, all right, cool. So go in the studio, get everything set up, then everybody comes in, and so I'm sitting there front and center with Kanye, and I play the first beat, and then he's bobbing his head, he's getting the feel of it, and then he tells me to take out my phone and start recording.
Wait, what?
And I'm thinking, well, like,
he told you to take out your phone.
Kanye told me to take out my phone and record him, and I'm thinking like, he might not like cameras in his face all the time.
Especially like I'm saying, he's always in the spotlight.
No, and then plus it's like, okay, like if I record you, like why would I record you listening to my beats? I didn't understand that he was going to start freestyling. I had no clue he was going to do that. So I take out the phone, I start recording. Next thing I know, he just starts flowing. Like we got Dame Dash dancing, dropping ad-libs. Kanye is saying, Dame Dash my mentor, and I let the story begin. It felt, I was like, wow, like it felt like what the old Rockefeller days were. And then after the first beat, we're all laughing, like, like that was cool. And then Kanye's all, play another one. and I was like, okay, so I played another one, and then after that, another one. I ended up playing like 5 beats for him, and he freestyled on every single beat.
That's crazy.
Every single beat. And I was just like, I had to tell him, pinch me right now, because it didn't even feel real.
Dang. That's so... what I would have done. Because, my favorite to this day is Last Call by Kanye. Man. That just whole entire song. Like Last Call by Kanye is just, that's that one,
It's crazy because, like, when I listen to that song now, it sounds totally different.
Really?
It just sounds like totally different because it's like, wow, like, because now I've actually had a personal interaction with Kanye, and for him to actually, like, rap on my beats, and basically co-sign me was like, wow, and then the very next day, like Dane was all, yo, like, you should be proud of yourself, bro. And I was like, like, why? What are you talking about? Kanye thing? He was all, you helped bring back Kanye, bro.
Like for him to freestyle like that, just
and no, especially
and-
like I feel like those beats were kind of like that, like perfect, like old school Kanye vibe too, because some of the websites,
and you know the sound because you
I
studied
know the
it
sound,
and you researched
that
it.
like the college dropout, the blueprint, Talib quality,
yeah.
Beanie Siegel, the reason, like those are my like favorite albums, so like I kind of formed to that sort of style, and Dan told me, you helped bring back the Kanye, you should be proud of yourself, and they were like, those beats were sounding like some old Kanye beats, you know, and like even the websites were like Kanye.
And you can tell, but by the way he's flowing on them, you're getting like I I've said on the show, like, for me, the last album that I have really, felt lyrically that Kanye satisfied me was My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy, where I felt like he was really like, just like snapping, just like the metaphor, like everything was just so like, he really painted a story. And I feel like that was the vibe that he was, giving you while you guys were in the studio together. And I want to pull up those videos for people to see, actually, because it's honestly crazy. Who would have thought? Let's check this out.
Cause it dang, niggas niggas too lame. Man, it's a motherfucking shame. It's a motherfucking shame. Listen, look how far we came. You niggas is bitches to the fame. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't gang. Coast style got me now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
then we have one more too. Look, I can't.
My nigga Aerostar knew I made this beat.
Yeah.
On some cam shit. Back when we could have barely afford a sandwich. Who knew Yeezy would do so much damage that the internet wouldn't have the bandwidth? Look who I brought the band with. Just look who I'm mans with. Just look who I'm fam with. Yeah. I ain't had
But that's crazy,
Man,
especially that one. That's like, and the beat that I'm hearing too, it's just so like, a different
soulful.
era, something different. I feel like with Kanye, he is such so musically inclined that he can change the sound, and different sounds of Kanye, different eras of Kanye.
Oh yeah.
But when you hear this beat, you can listen to a beat and know, like, where Kanye was at, or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was the graduation feel where you get that, like that little bit of like, okay, we can do a little crossover to the pop, you know what I mean? Or like this is just such an old school like feel, but something that you could probably even find like on a My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, like,
still
I was
soulful.
hoping, like, I'm hoping, Yandi be sounding like that, you know. I'm hoping like that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
What other producers from that time, like, I always talk about, that era, they just had so many like great producers. Not that we don't have any, but like, Roddy Jerkins, you have, at that time, there's like so many, like we said, Just Blaze. I remember looking at a video, I think it was like Swiss Beats and Blaze just like
beat battling.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just playing all their hits. Like, I remember watching that on the Instagram live and just being like, wow, like, like, I wish I was in that room,
And then you have, like I said, like the Brian Michael Cox and like, so many talented producers. But what do you think sets you apart from the producers that we're seeing today?
Wow, like, I would say really just bringing that soul back. Just going back to those soul, I mean, not even necessarily soul samples, but that soul vibe, because I feel like the song starts with the beat, so like I want rap music to, I guess, become more educational, and really, teach people,
like,
and
really
open,
telling the story.
Yeah, like on some real life stories and like situations, because you could sit in the classroom and listen to a teacher bore you to death about all these facts, or you could listen to a rap song that speaks those same facts, but it's in a more entertaining fashion, so like I want to bring those like soulful beats and those real deep beats to like really, inspire rappers to get on that sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I still like and respect, some of the new stuff that's out today. It's just like there's a time and a place for it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like those really soulful beats, they might not be popping in the club like that.
They're not.
But but like that's cool. There's a time and a place.
Exactly. And then another thing too, we were talking about, last call and everything. In that song, you hear Kanye talk about his struggle or his, the things that he had to overcome to get to where, he is now, or where, when he got his chain, essentially.
Yeah.
But when we look at you and your path, you're young, grinding, doing the same thing. How were you able to let these people, the Dame Dashes of the world, the Kanyes, how were you able to get them to listen to you? Because Kanye was trying to have people listen to him for a very long time until they finally did. Same with like a lot of other artists. J. Cole has talked about trying to give his CD out to Jay-Z when Jay-Z didn't even know him. So how were you able to get somebody to be like, hey, listen to me? And because there could be 100 people in the room talking, but you're saying something that's different, that's making them pay attention. So what do you think that is?
So basically how I allowed my voice, or I guess forced my voice to be heard, was I did everything that other people didn't do. I did not use social media to push my music. Why? Because that's what everybody does. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna push my music in person. So what I would do is, for example, Talib Kweli, shout out to Talib. I would go to his shows in LA. But instead of going through the front door like the rest of the people, I would go behind the venue and wait by the back door. Because I knew that's where he would be entering. So I would do it it's face to face, and I'm physically handing him a thumb drive of my beats, and if I'm lucky, I could say a couple things to him, because I know he's a busy dude, he has a show, so I'm like, because you could email people beats all day. But
their email box is filled.
But the email box is filled.
You can't do anything when somebody's right there in your face.
Because if you're face to face with someone giving them beats, it's more likely they'll actually remember you. I couldn't force him to listen to any of the beats, but I did everything in my power to get those beats in his hands. So every time he would have a show in LA, I would always be right back there waiting, and sometimes the shows were 21 and over, and I'd be 19. So I had no choice
but to be,
but to be back there. So like 3 or 4 times.
How many times were you doing that?
Man, I've probably done that maybe 6 or 7 times.
And that's just for Talib Kweli, or for other artists too?
For other artists as well. For Talib, I'd say maybe 3 or 4.
Wow.
And I remember one time I was too young to get in the club to give Ja Rule beats. So I remember and the club was popping all night, and I didn't know what time he'd be showing up. So I literally stood there for probably like 10, 11 hours, seriously, of just standing there by the back door. And that's how motivated I was. And that's how much I believed in myself and believed in my beats. I was like, if I stand here for 10 hours and give Ja Rule beats and he uses one of the beats, I did not waste any time. If I don't get to meet Ja Rule tonight, hey, standing here for 10 hours still wasn't a waste of time, because I did everything in my power to
make somebody listen to you.
To make somebody listen to me. I really had that hustle, but it wasn't necessarily like, it was the hustle that nobody else was doing. There was nobody else standing behind the venues with me.
Because everybody thinks now that they can just either, and it works in certain cases, but at the same time is that everybody knows that now, you can use your social media platform to, advocate for yourself.
It's the easiest way, but like I said, my thing was, I'd rather speak with someone face to face than over the phone. But, sometimes you gotta do over the phone, whatever. But I remember back in, I think, July or August, I was waiting to give beats to Cameron, Jim Jones, Dipset. They had a show here in LA. I waited back probably like 6-7 hours, whatever it was. And they finally, they rolled up, and I told one of the guys, hey, I got beats for Cam and Jim. He was all, how long have you been waiting out here? I was all, 5-6 hours, whatever it was. He was all, man, come with me. He brings me in, he introduces me to him and throws me right on stage with him.
You're kidding.
Seriously. And I was all, wow, like, and it took patience was what it was. No one will stand there
and for you to be that young and to grasp that idea of patience, because a lot of our generation, the young generation wants everything so quick and instant gratification.
And that's what social media is. It's instant likes. It's instant views. It's not understanding the big picture.
And the weight and the sacrifice that you're gonna have to make.
And like, it was so funny. Talib came through to Dame's studio like probably last week. And I was like, I'll say hi to Talib when it's time. We make eye contact. He walks up to me and goes, "Hey, it's good to see you again." He remembers me from waiting behind those venues to give him beats, and now he sees me here in the studio with Dame Dash. And then I showed him the article about me and Kanye, and I'm sure he was. I mean, he told me, "Send me beats right now." Send me beats. So it's like all of that, patience and that doing the work that no one else
was willing to do.
It's really starting to pay off now.
What are you learning from Dame? Because I know he has so many gyms. He's been in the business for so long. He's a legend. He's been around legends, worked with legends. So what have you learned from working with him?
Man, it's Dame has that strong boss mentality. So when you see Dame making boss moves, like pause, it really rubs off on you, like, whoa, like that's how a boss moves, that's how a boss thinks, this is what a boss does in that situation, and so it's really just watching Dame and listening to him and just watch how he moves. Because ultimately, he always says, I bring in soldiers and turn them into generals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what he wants to do for everybody.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, you know what? While you're here as my guest, you're going to be my co-host as we get into some new albums that dropped this week. We kind of already talked about it a little bit, but guys, Solange dropped her album While We Wait, and it is, honestly, I'm feeling it right now. She has a different voice, I feel like, that's different from what we're hearing as far as like musically, you know what I mean? As Solange, her music is just very like neo soul. I really love it.
Yeah, see, like that's something because like I know a lot of things, but there's a lot of things I don't know.
Yeah.
So like the past like few months, I've been really trying to open my mind and get out of that early 2000s era.
Yeah, but it's hard though because it's so many gems though.
Yeah.
And the catalog of music from that time is like you can be stuck in there forever.
Yeah, so I'm at the point now where
and it draws you back in because even when you're out of it, like sometimes I'll be, because I am the same way, like sometimes I'll be in it and then I'll go and like, okay, let me just listen to what's going on like currently right now, and then I'm like, okay, this is cool, but then I'm about to go back to like early 2000s or the 90s, you know what I mean? You
gotta adapt to the times to survive. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm really like,
it's a balance.
I mean even like Graduation by Kanye, like I've been listening to that album heavily the past couple weeks, and it's really growing on me. If you would have told me 3 years ago, hey, listen to this, I probably would have said, nah, like College Dropout's my thing. But like now, like I'm really working on expanding to like the newer wave of music, because that's what I gotta listen to, and that's what I got to be a part of now.
And then there'll always be a way, because you have your own certain style that you can infuse whatever the new stuff is, and then your style and put it together. You know what I mean? And that's when it really would be like.
No, because I could take those like classic samples, but just put some updated drums on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or some 808s, and make it sonically more, I guess, relevant.
Yes. Exactly. That's exciting. I'm so excited for you right now. Like,
wow, thank you. That means a lot.
Because I'm like such a big music head, and I just feel like, your sound, this is it.
Thank you.
And then speaking of sound, another person that dropped an album on Friday was 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is back with an album.
Man, yeah, shout out to 2 Chainz.
Shout out to 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is also honestly a great story too for anybody who's like hustling, because 2 Chainz been hustling for a long time, you know, until we got to actually know, like, or till like, you know, mainstream pop culture knows like who 2 Chainz is. But if you really know, like, 2 Chainz has been in the game hustling for a long time. So
man, I'm gonna manifest it right now. I'm gonna be with 2 Chainz in the studio one day. I'm just manifesting it right now.
Put it out.
I'm putting it out there
in
right
the
now.
universe.
You know?
I always say it every time somebody comes to BHL and wants to do something. I'm like, say it right now. So 2 Chainz, you listening? Hey.
Oh yeah.
We got somebody to give you some beats. Caliveli is here to provide you with the beats.
Definitely. Definitely all day.
Okay, then we also have Offset. He dropped this 2 Fridays ago. We got the Father of 4 album that dropped as well.
Okay, is he back with Cardi B?
Cardi B? I think so. But, you know.
Yeah, like I just be looking at the headlines.
I'd be like, oh, okay. You know? So, speaking of that, how do you feel about, you know, Offset? You know, we all know that Quavo, as far as like production, has done a lot. You know, how do you, or what's your take on their sound?
You know, I mean, like, you know, it's cool. I mean, like I was a fan of the Migos first time I heard them. I think it was like Pipe It Up, I think it was called by then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching the Super Bowl a few years back, you know, and that song I think played on a commercial or something. And I'm like, man, like who is that? They're like, yo, it's the Migos.
Yeah.
The Migos, you know, I did some research about them. Like, wow, like I think there's 3 of them, right? There's 3 of them. Yeah. So I mean, doing their thing.
Yeah,
you know, it's
they
cool.
are. And they've had that type of sound that I feel like everybody, like you're saying, is now coming up with a new sound that's not sampling, that's not, you know, anything like we've ever heard.
Yeah. I mean, like I challenged them to get on like, you know, a little soul sample or something. But I think the was it the 21 Savage song?
Oh
with
yeah,
J.
a lot.
Cole.
Yeah, that one
a
was
lot.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
feel like the Migos could definitely get on a song or a production like that for sure.
Yeah, like that'd be hot. You know, like, there's a lot of great producers out there nowadays who make really hot like original beats.
Yes.
But could also sample.
Yeah.
And make some hot beats.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's what I'm saying. Like FL Studio, like I think is the new wave.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm looking at that like wow, like you could do a lot of cool stuff in that. A lot of cool stuff. Like I just be using an MPC 1000 and running into Pro Tools. You know, it's all like I said, you know, not only like with listening to music, I got to keep up with the times, but also the actual like production wise. You know, I got to keep up with the times as well if I want to compete with all these, you know, very talented producers.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm just so excited for you. You have so much coming. What can we look forward to from you in 2019? You know, the year just started. What can we expect? What are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah. So it looks like I'm gonna be on a Dame Dash television.
Yeah.
You know, so
you host too on GDTV, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna be big. You know, we're planning on putting out the network this year, sometime this year. You know, I mean, like we got some very, very, very talented people. You know, it's gonna be comedy. You know, Tory Hart. You know, it's gonna be a music. You know,
yeah. I was like, what
designer?
I'm like, I need to know about this music.
You know,
that's probably gonna be crazy.
Designer came through a few days ago. You know, Praz came through. You know, just like so like Talib there, you know, so like this I'm just blessed to be like surrounded by all these people that I grew up looking up to, and now it's like wow, like I'm in the studio with these people, you know, so I'm just really soaking it all in and just really trying to learn a lot.
I'm so proud.
Thank
you so much for coming,
Thank
guys.
Thank you.
Please, Justin, let everybody know where they can find you on social media so that they can be like, you know what? This is the producer that they've been talking about. Let them know.
Yeah. This is the producer who made those beats. You know? No, it's all good. Find me on Instagram at Caliveli, Caliveli, Caliveli.
And then we never even got to talk about how did you come up with Caliveli?
Yeah. So when I started out rapping, like everybody called me J Cali because my first name is Justin and my last name is Callahan. You know, so it was like J Cali, but I'm like, you know what? Like, there's too many J Calis.
Yeah.
You know, I got to do some original. You know, so I'm like, you know what? Like, I'll keep the Cali because my last name is Callahan. Plus, I'm from California.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was really, really heavy on Tupac's Don Illuminati album, you know, the Machiavelli.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, shout out to the Outlaws and Sinatra. You know, I took the Veli from Machiavelli and just put Cali and Caliveli, and then luckily that Instagram handle was still open at the time. This is probably like 7-8 years ago, right? So yeah.
Dang.
Been Caliveli ever since.
Caliveli. So guys,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
make sure to follow him and all that he's going to do. I see a bright future for you. So
Thank
excited.
you. It means a lot.
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much.
Guys, it's been BHL's Next. I'm your host, Raylan T. You can follow me at Raylan Taryn on Instagram and Twitter. And follow all things Black Hollywood Live at BHL Online. I will see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you for having me. This is great. Thank you.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.